Hello again, I'm Cody, an artificial intellect spokesperson for StarLine Systems UK. Continuing our video series on top 10 advantages as to why you should choose StarLine to secure your vehicle against theft. Today we'll be looking at something that is of paramount importance to consider when choosing a manufacturer to purchase security products from. Manufacturing practices and quality control. Something that most potential customers don't pay much attention to when researching their would-be supplier, unfortunately. Falling for fancy packaging is a common mistake people make. If you really want to know what the product you're buying is made of, it is worth researching the manufacturer, their facilities, and quality control practices. A reputable manufacturer always takes pride in these things, and has no problem showing their potential partners and customers exactly how their products are manufactured. As a matter of fact, at StarLine, we regularly invite individuals and groups to visit our headquarters and observe the manufacturing process. When it's not possible due to distance or other reasons, virtual tours are available, as well as documentaries to watch. Why is it important to ensure that the product you're going to have fitted to your vehicle is produced using modern, purpose-built equipment? And to familiarize yourself with the quality control practices the manufacturer employs. It is simple. Quality directly affects daily performance of the product and its failure rate, as well as its lifespan as a whole. Another important consideration is that a bad quality aftermarket electronics product can actually damage the vehicle's electrical systems, including the battery, and even the ECU. Not necessarily at the time of installation. It can happen at a later date too, and it will be very difficult to prove that the product was to blame. Therefore, the point is, why take any chances? Actually, it is quite astonishing to see the amount of poorly manufactured products on the market today. And what's more astonishing is that many of those are promoted as premium quality, boasting a hefty price tag. So, why is it that such a large percentage of manufacturers put poorly made products out there? In our opinion, there are 5 distinct reasons for this. Number 1. Outdated equipment. For instance, take a look at our manufacturing facilities at StarLine back in the 80s. Great for its day, right? But completely obsolete today. Believe it or not though, a lot of manufacturers still, to this day, use this kind of equipment. Long outdated and, in some cases, even dangerous. Granted, buying and maintaining modern equipment is extremely costly. So why bother investing, when it still works, somehow? Plus, the components that this outdated equipment cannot produce, can easily be outsourced from third parties. Such practices often result in a product that might in fact be barely holding together, but outwardly appears perfectly functional. And this is how many a manufacturer with a subpar product managed to stay afloat in this competitive niche and not go out of business altogether. Another issue that significantly affects quality is the type of machinery used. Many manufacturers use multi-purpose equipment, as opposed to purpose-built. Also, using outdated equipment comes with yet another major problem. Calibration. Equipment needs regular inspection and calibration in order to function properly and ensure that the chance of faulty produce is kept to a minimum. Unlike modern machinery, older models don't have the self-calibration feature, and there are hardly any technical specialists around, who have the expertise needed to work with outdated equipment. All of this, in fact, forms the very concept of quality, but, sadly, it is very rare that a typical consumer pays any attention to these important factors. Very few consumers look past fancy packaging and clever marketing ploys. At StarLine, however, we emphasize quality above all else, and we don't take any chances when it comes to our equipment. We use the most modern high-function purpose-built equipment by world's most renowned brands, and we are constantly renovating our assets. We employ a team of highly skilled engineers who supervise and maintain our production machinery. This, combined with advanced AI robotics and rigid post-production quality control practices, ensures that chances of a faulty product getting out to the end user are nearing zero. Reason number 2, as to why many of our competitors' products have such high failure rates. Lack of control over the actual manufacturing process. You may or may not be aware that a large percentage of automotive security product suppliers use the so-called white label services. Also known as private label services. Meaning that the product that's offered to the end user, likely contains components that were not produced specifically for that product, and were not tested with the rest of the components the product is made up of. White label service providers supply components that are mass-produced by third-party developers, who allow anyone to purchase and brand them as their own, and use them as they see fit. This means that you could be getting a generic product made at the same facility that's being sold under 3, 5, or 10 different brand names, by different distributors. Since these components are not manufactured on site, but outsourced from third parties, the distributor of the end product oftentimes has very little insight as to what exactly the product is composed of, and where these parts even come from. As the distributor is not involved in the product's development or production, they are not able to take full responsibility for the product they're selling, or guarantee its reliability. And this applies to both hardware and software alike, and should any performance issues arise, it is near impossible to diagnose and locate the faulty part as their compatibility with, and interaction between one another is unclear in the first place. The result is a subpar quality product whose performance may be unstable and unpredictable. So in essence, you are getting something of a Frankenstein monster, if you will. You wouldn't buy a car that has a BMW logo on it, but the engine is from Honda, and the rest of the parts are from other manufacturers, or even worse, unknown and unmarked. Would you buy such a car? Probably not. This seems common sense, doesn't it? So why not apply the same thinking to aftermarket products? In contrast to the aforementioned, at StarLine, our manufacturing is completely transparent, and we are fully in control of it. From A to Z, from electronics to canvas cables, to plastic casing, to software protocols. Our products are developed and manufactured at a single location, meaning that we are able to fully control the manufacturing process, with no third parties involved. And every part that our products are composed of, is traceable. So, the bottom line is, when you're investing in a StarLine product, you can be sure that you are investing in quality that will serve you for years to come. As opposed to a shoddy imitation of a premium product, that is really just a gimmick, in fancy wrapping, designed to give you not a whole lot more than a false sense of a good investment. Not only failing to serve its purpose, but is likely to start to cause issues within a few months of use. Reason number 3, as to why many automotive security products have high failure rates, is human error. In this era of digital technologies and artificial intellect, many processes formerly performed by humans can be delegated to robots. It has been proven that robots are far more efficient compared to humans when it comes to large-scale production. Many factors that affect the efficiency of human work are entirely eliminated by using robotics and artificial intellect instead. Simply put, humans make mistakes. Robots don't. If an artificial intellect-controlled mechanism malfunctions for whatever reason, it is promptly reported and corrected. Whereas when human error occurs, it will likely go unnoticed until the product fails whilst in use by the end customer. Initial investment in digitalization and artificial intellect is quite substantial. We are talking millions. So it is somewhat understandable why a large percentage of manufacturers still rely heavily on outdated equipment and old-fashioned manpower. Since we prioritize quality and intend to remain the leading brand in our niche, our manufacturing facilities are of paramount importance to us. Not just keeping them current, but setting an example for industry professionals. That's why at StarLine, we are constantly investing in the very latest in robotics and artificial intellect. At StarLine, our manufacturing processes are over 90% automated. Our employees are there to supervise and maintain the equipment, as well as undertake quality control, but actual manufacturing is almost entirely done by robots. Meaning that the chances of human error are virtually zero. Moving on to reason number 4, and that is, sloppy quality control practices. This has a lot to do with the previous point, as quality control is heavily dependent on manual inspection by humans. In fact, we were shocked to discover that some manufacturers don't actually have any quality control protocols in place at all. How would you actually ensure that something meets the quality standards if you don't have any standards in the first place? What would you benchmark against? Many manufacturers rely solely on visual inspection. If nothing is visibly damaged, then it's good to go. Another factor is, labor costs are getting higher. And therefore, many companies trying to save, delegate quality inspection to the same staff members that are involved in manufacturing. In our opinion, this is a mistake. At StarLine, we have a dedicated multi-stage process, involving both humans and artificial intellect, when it comes to quality inspection. I'd like to invite you to visit our website at www.starlinesystems.co.uk and check out the quality control procedures we employ at our production facility. I might also mention that StarLine is one of the top recruiters in its niche. Our employees are our family. We are heavily invested in our staff members as they are the key component to making our brand what it is today. Our employee turnover rate is extremely low, whilst productivity is extremely high. Most of our team members have been with us for years. From top executives and IT project managers to warehouse personnel to frontline workers. All of us share common values and goals. We regularly conduct employee morale surveys, making sure that our team stays strong, motivated, and well-balanced. The point of the matter is, many competing brands that manufacture automotive security products use cheap, underqualified labor, and don't invest in their employees' training, motivation, and professional development. This is another major factor that significantly affects employee productivity and their quality of work. In turn, all of this directly affects the quality and performance of the product the end user ends up with. Moreover, as mentioned before, a lot of suppliers don't even have any quality control, other than visual inspection. At StarLine, we have sound quality control practices and a strong team of highly skilled and motivated professionals overseeing the quality control department, who know the process inside and out. We invest a lot of funds and resources in this aspect of our work. So we are confident that every care is taken to ensure that every single product leaving our manufacturing plant is fault-free for the end user. Last, but not least, reason number 5 as to why many similar automotive security products on the market today have high failure rates. Manufacturers focusing on quantity rather than quality. As mentioned before, StarLine is an established and esteemed manufacturer that's been around since the 80s, and remains the leading automotive security product supplier on its domestic market, as well as Europe and Asia. Our domestic market share exceeds 60%, and StarLine is a household name for vehicle owners. This is being said to stress the fact that the company of our stature does not need gimmicky sales ploys and aggressive marketing. Spending more money on fancy packaging and pushy advertising than the actual product is very common amongst our competitors though. Companies that prioritize aggressive marketing instead of quality, in order to mask a product that is lacking on all fronts, are those whose main focus is on boosting sales, as opposed to offering a superior quality product that will serve the end user for years to come. At StarLine, we have proven over the years that we're in it for the long haul. Not to make a quick buck. We have spent decades building a name for ourselves and earning the trust of vehicle owners worldwide. And now, that our reputation precedes us, we have no need to worry about sales figures, as those take care of themselves. Meaning that we dedicate most of our time and resources to research and development, the quality and exclusivity of our produce, as well as maintaining long-term partnerships with our business associates and customers. So here we go. We've covered the 5 reasons why, in our opinion, there are so many automotive security products out there whose quality and performance leaves a lot to be desired. And what we're doing at StarLine, to ensure that these factors don't apply to us. I hope I have been able to bring my point across, that at StarLine, the one thing we do not compromise on, is quality. It is very important to understand that product manufacturing, particularly when it comes to electronics, is a multi-stage process. The whole symphony is out of tune if one note is played incorrectly. In other words, if one small detail is overlooked, you are bound to encounter the domino effect. In one of the upcoming videos, we will talk about how poor manufacturing and quality control practices can affect performance. And we'll briefly compare our products to those of similar brands on the market today. So stay tuned. In the meantime, I invite you to learn more about our state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities, see for yourself how StarLine products are made, and look in more detail into the rigid quality control practices we employ before any of our products leave the manufacturing plant and are made available to the public. Please visit www.starlinesystems.co.uk, or use the QR code you see on the screen. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to our social media. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next.